What if the foods you trust most, those cheap, comforting staples in your freezer or gas station aisle, were officially labeled unfit for human consumption in another country? Not because of politics, but because of science. In early 2025, Iceland implemented sweeping food purity laws banning 7 major American fast foods from import, citing toxic additives, banned preservatives, and untraceable meat sources. These aren't conspiracy theories. They're cold facts backed by official reports from the Icelandic Directorate of Health, Nordic Food Safety Authorities, and EU-aligned watchdogs released in just the last few months. So ask yourself, if Iceland, one of the healthiest nations on Earth, sees danger in these products, why are they still part of our daily meals? Have we been numbed into swallowing ingredients that other countries reject without hesitation? This is the Downturn Report, where the truth gets personal. And today we're pulling back the greasy curtain on 7 popular American fast foods banned by the Icelandic government. Let's see what they know that we're still ignoring. Number 1, McDonald's. You could spot those golden arches from a mile away, like a lighthouse for the tired, the broke, and the hungry. Whether your wallet was thin or your patience thinner, McDonald's always seemed like a reliable friend who never judged. Cheap, fast, predictable. It was the unofficial dining room for night shift workers, grandparents watching grandkids, or anyone whose fridge only held expired mustard and a half onion. But behind that warm, familiar glow, Iceland saw something else entirely. And they didn't just raise an eyebrow. They shut the whole thing down. When McDonald's left Iceland during the 2008 financial crisis, it was chalked up to rising import costs. But by 2024, when the chain tried to return, the Icelandic government slammed the door. Their message? If it wouldn't meet our standards for animal feed, we're not giving it to humans. That wasn't an insult. That was public policy. Turns out over 60% of McDonald's core ingredients, beef, cheese, sauces, arrive frozen from giant global facilities. In Iceland, food laws require local sourcing, clear origin labeling, and freshness that doesn't come from a freezer truck. But McDonald's model runs on the opposite: efficiency, uniformity, and preservatives that could outlive your mortgage. Then there's the bread. U.S. McDonald's buns contain azotocarbonamide, the same chemical used in yoga mats to make them spongier. Europe said no. Iceland said no. America said, extra sesame seeds, please. And the milkshakes, laced with titanium dioxide, banned in the EU in 2022 for potentially damaging DNA. Iceland's National Food Agency reaffirmed in 2025, this stuff doesn't belong in food, period. But maybe the most damning blow came from the forests. In early 2025, a Nordic investigation revealed one of McDonald's beef suppliers was sourcing cattle from illegally deforested Amazon land, hidden behind third-party paperwork. Even after promising deforestation-free beef, McDonald's hadn't severed ties. Iceland doesn't just guard its food, they guard their conscience. Still, let's be fair. When you're expected to serve lunch for under $3, there's pressure to cut corners. McDonald's is part of a system that rewards speed and shelf life over health and honesty. Maybe they didn't write the rules. Maybe they're just stuck playing the game. But that leaves us with a question you can't unask. If a small island nation with fewer people than Tulsa refuses to serve these meals, why are they still handed out daily across the U.S.? What are we really eating? And who decided that was good enough? If Iceland walked away from this table, maybe it's time we looked down at our own tray and asked, are we really okay with what's sitting there? Number 2, Subway. It walked into the fast food scene wearing a crown of lettuce and a robe made of calorie counts. While others were dropping patties onto sizzling grills, Subway slid in like the diet messiah, whispering promises of health into America's ear. Eat fresh, they said, as if those footlongs were handcrafted by a Tuscan farmer and blessed by your cardiologist. It wasn't just a sandwich. It was supposed to be your one guilt-free pass in a world where every meal felt like a medical risk. But Iceland, the country famous for hot springs and cold logic, wasn't buying it, and they didn't mince words when they shut the door. As of 2025, Subway has yet to open a single location in Iceland, not because it never tried, but because the chain couldn't or wouldn't meet the country's unshakable rules on food transparency, clean ingredients, and actual nutritional value. In February 2025, the European consumer watchdog finalized a damning report that helped keep those doors locked. One glaring issue: azotocarbonamide, yep, the same chemical used to make yoga mats stretchier, is still baked into Subway's US bread. Iceland banned it years ago due to concerns about semicarbazide, a byproduct tied to hormone disruption and liver toxicity. But apparently, if it makes the bread fluffier and the costs lower, it's still good enough for the American lunch crowd. And it doesn't stop at the buns. In 2024, a joint investigation by French and German food agencies exposed that Subway's oven-roasted chicken sometimes contains less than half actual chicken. The rest, fillers, thickeners, and flavor enhancers. Think about that. Chicken so processed it probably has a LinkedIn profile. Iceland, with its zero-tolerance stance on mystery meats, wasn't about to gamble its public trust on a protein you can't fully trace. Then came the tuna bombshell. Late 2024, multiple labs across Europe tested Subway's US tuna samples and found zero detectable tuna DNA. Not some, not a little, none. Subway denied it, of course, but Iceland wasn't waiting for a marketing spin. By early 2025, their Ministry of Food issued a warning that no Subway seafood should enter the country without certified DNA verification. When a nation built on fish turns its back on your tuna, the silence says more than a press release ever could. Still, it's easy to point fingers. Subway didn't wake up one morning and decide to sell fluff and filler. When you're selling footlongs for under $10, the corners start cutting themselves. Maybe it wasn't greed. Maybe it was the invisible chokehold of a food system built on volume over value. But it still leaves a bad taste. When did we stop asking what's in our food and start cheering for price tags over peace of mind? If Iceland can say no without flinching, why can't we ask more from the chains that claim to nourish us? And no, you don't have to grow your own kale or raise your own chickens. But you can look twice at that sandwich. Is the bread baked fresh? Is the meat sliced on site? Or is it all just a costume stitched together to look like health? Because when the only thing real in your lunch is the napkin, it's time to rethink what we're swallowing. Number 3, Tyson chicken nuggets. They sit quietly in our freezers like a first aid kit for hunger. Tyson chicken nuggets, crispy, golden, and ready faster than your microwave can beep, have become a staple in lunchboxes, after-school snacks, and exhausted weeknight dinners. For so many families living paycheck to paycheck, they're more than just a convenient meal. They're a little piece of control in a chaotic day. A hot bite of something familiar, something the kids won't complain about, something that doesn't break the bank. But while these nuggets might be welcome in American homes, they've been given the cold shoulder abroad, especially in Iceland. As of 2025, Iceland flatly refuses to sell or import any Tyson chicken products. There's no flashy headline announcing a ban, but the verdict is just as clear. Iceland follows food laws aligned with the European Union, requiring poultry to come from farms that are antibiotic-free, treat animals humanely, and show no recurring food safety violations. And Tyson? They've failed on all 3 counts repeatedly. In February 2025, the U.S. Department of Agriculture issued a Class 1 recall, its most serious level, for nearly 30,000 pounds of Tyson chicken patties contaminated with Listeria monocytogenes. That wasn't an isolated event. It was the third major Tyson recall in just a year and a half. Only weeks earlier, the CDC connected Tyson chicken to a salmonella outbreak spanning multiple states and sickening dozens. Iceland's health officials doubled down, reminding everyone that, without certified, antibiotic-free verification and third-party inspection, no U.S. poultry, including Tyson, would be allowed across the border. Then came the video. In March 2025, undercover footage from a Tyson-contracted slaughterhouse in Arkansas showed birds being kicked, thrown, and boiled alive after equipment failures. The footage made international headlines, drawing harsh criticism from the Icelandic Food Ethics Council. They responded immediately, placing Tyson on a list of non-compliant suppliers and triggering re-inspections for all poultry sourced from the U.S. But perhaps the most quietly dangerous issue hides inside the meat itself. A 2024 study by Norway's Veterinary Institute found antibiotic residues, specifically oxytetracycline and sulfadimethoxine, in Tyson chicken sold through global distributors. While still legal in the U.S., these substances are completely banned in Iceland for their role in fueling antibiotic resistance and gut health disorders. Yet here, they remain ingredients in our children's meals. So how did we end up serving something to our families that Iceland won't even let pass customs? Because when food is mass-produced like widgets in a factory, safety becomes optional and ethics turn into footnotes. Tyson supplies schools, hospitals, even senior care facilities. In that kind of system, cheap wins, and the price we pay shows up on medical bills later. But we're not powerless. Brands like Bell & Evans and Mary's Chicken offer U.S.-raised poultry that avoids antibiotics and prioritizes welfare. Or skip the frozen aisle altogether. Season some drumsticks, toss them in the oven, and taste what chicken is actually supposed to be. And maybe the most dangerous bacteria isn't in the food, but in the apathy, the numbness, the part of us that stops asking, is this good enough? So ask yourself, if Iceland thinks Tyson chicken isn't fit for their people, why are we feeding it to ours? Number 4, Kraft singles and processed American cheese slices. It peels off the plastic like a little yellow flag of surrender. Kraft singles, those soft, shiny slices stacked neatly in every American fridge, have been with us through thick and thin. They've sat atop burgers at family cookouts, melted into grilled cheese when the cupboards were bare, and offered a quick sandwich when your pension had to stretch from Monday to who knows when. It's affordable, familiar, and it doesn't judge you when times are tight. But in Iceland, they don't just refuse to eat it, they won't even let it cross the border. As of 2025, Iceland maintains a firm block on ultra-processed cheese slices like Kraft singles. Their rules are clear. If it's packed with synthetic additives, emulsifiers, fake colors, or stabilizers that sound like science experiments gone rogue, it doesn't qualify as cheese. In fact, in most of Europe, Kraft singles can't even legally be labeled cheese. That yellow square is more of a dairy-inspired invention than an actual food. Under Iceland's updated 2024 Food Law Act, only products made from real milk with minimal processing and zero-band additives can be sold as cheese. Kraft singles fail spectacularly. Made from milk protein concentrate, whey, emulsifying salts like E339 and E452, artificial dyes like annatto and tartrazine, and preservatives like sodium nitrite. These slices are basically a chemistry set between two slices of bread. And sodium nitrite isn't just a tongue twister. It's been linked to colorectal cancer when consumed regularly, especially in heated products. The European Food Safety Authority raised the alarm in 2024, and Iceland followed swiftly. In January 2025, They reaffirmed the restriction on any dairy product using E250. The result? Kraft singles became a product in limbo. Too fake to be cheese, too risky to ignore. But that's not where it ends. In April 2025, the Nordic Nutrition Council released a study that tested 15 brands of American-style processed cheese. The findings? Shockingly high levels of phosphates, especially disodium phosphate, E339, linked to kidney damage in older adults. It's the kind of threat that sneaks in quietly, especially for people trying to eat cheap and simple when every grocery trip feels like a budgetary negotiation. Even the packaging is a problem. Kraft wraps each slice in petroleum-based plastic that can't be recycled under Iceland's zero-waste packaging law. As of 2025, all food packaging there must be biodegradable or recyclable, something Kraft's shiny wrap just can't deliver. But let's not pretend Kraft was out to poison anyone. They built something that worked in a broken system. Real cheese is expensive, time is short, and Americans wanted something fast, safe, and cheap. Kraft delivered exactly that, a meltable, microwavable illusion of comfort. Still, illusions can't be dinner forever. In Iceland, cheese is sliced fresh at the counter. No plastic, no filler, just dairy and pride. And in the US, you can still reclaim that. Look for blocks labeled 100% real cheese. Steer clear of cheese product and consider brands like Organic Valley or your local dairy co-op. Or just buy a block of cheddar and slice it yourself. It'll melt better, taste richer, and maybe give your kidneys a break. So next time you peel back that plastic, ask yourself, what exactly are you unwrapping? Cheese? Or just a yellow promise that we've stopped questioning? Number 5. Mountain Dew. It wasn't just soda, it was a statement. That blinding green fizz wasn't meant to blend in. It was meant to jolt you awake, like jumper cables to your taste buds. Mountain Dew was the drink of choice when coffee felt too bitter or your bones too tired. Whether you were pushing through the third shift, mowing the lawn under a July sun, or trying to outrun the afternoon slump, this neon sugar rush felt like fuel. But while it carved a place in American kitchens and corner stores, in Iceland, it's treated more like hazardous waste than a beverage. As of 2025, Mountain Dew is effectively barred from sale in Iceland, not through one dramatic announcement, but by failing to meet layer upon layer of food safety laws. At the center of the controversy, brominated vegetable oil, or BVO. That's right, the same chemical used in flame retardants has been used in Mountain Dew to keep the citrus flavor from separating. The European Union banned it in 2014, but Iceland took it further in its 2025 refreshment regulation update, officially labeling BVO as a toxic additive unfit for human consumption. Any product containing even trace amounts is refused at the border. No debate, no loopholes, but BVO is just the beginning. A 2024 Nordic audit flagged Mountain Dew's US formula for containing alarming levels of yellow 5, also known as tartrazine, a synthetic dye linked to hyperactivity, hives, and mood swings. Iceland banned it long ago. The same bottle also carries over 90 milligrams of caffeine, nearly triple Iceland's legal cap for non-coffee drinks. Add in the syrupy sweetness, 77 grams of sugar per bottle, and you've got a beverage that breaks almost every rule in the Icelandic food code. Even the caffeine-free version doesn't make the cut. Why? Because Iceland's Sugar Regulation Act, updated in 2024, bans any imported beverage with over 50 grams of sugar per serving. Designed to protect older populations from type 2 diabetes and metabolic disease, the law doesn't budge for nostalgia. Then there's the behind-the-scenes game. In 2025, an expose by the European Health Transparency Network revealed that PepsiCo, Mountain Dew's parent company, had spent millions lobbying against clearer sugar labeling in Central Europe. Icelandic lawmakers pointed to this as one more reason to keep the soda off shelves. When a company fights transparency, they lose the right to public trust. To be fair, Mountain Dew didn't start out this way. It began in the 1940s as a lemon-lime mixer in Tennessee. But as the market shifted, so did the formula: amplified caffeine, over-the-top sweetness, and a cocktail of stabilizers that turned soda into something unrecognizable. Somewhere between the flavor and the fizz, what once perked you up started dragging your health down. In Iceland, soft drinks are made with actual fruit extracts, light carbonation, and natural sweeteners, if any at all. Americans exploring cleaner options might try drinks like Spindrift, Olipop, or homemade herbal teas. Even a tall glass of water with a splash of citrus can refresh without putting your pancreas through boot camp. So here's the bitter fizz at the bottom of the bottle. If Iceland calls it unfit for human consumption, what does that say about what we've normalized? Is it still just a soda, or has it become something more dangerous in disguise? Number 6. Slim Jim meat sticks. You don't find them in the deli, you find them next to windshield wiper fluid. Slim Jim meat sticks, sealed like little red dynamite sticks, have been fueling tired truckers, toolbox lunches, and long-haul commutes for decades. It's not fancy, it's not fresh, but for countless folks who don't have the time or the paycheck for sliced deli roast beef, Slim Jim is meat on a budget. Something to gnaw on between jobs when cooking feels like a luxury and hunger hits hard. But in Iceland, Slim Jim didn't just get a thumbs down, it got booted out of the food category entirely. As of 2025, Slim Jim and similar American meat snacks are not allowed for import or sale in Iceland, not because of the branding or even the grease stains on the label, but because the ingredients list reads like a slow-motion chemical spill. Sodium nitrite, E250, butylated hydroxyanisole, BHA, and artificial smoke flavoring. Each one lands squarely in the banned or restricted column of Iceland's updated food purity law. And the reasons run deep. Take sodium nitrite. It gives Slim Jim its signature pinkish tone and allows it to sit on shelves for months without breaking a sweat. But when nitrites interact with proteins in the body, especially when heated, they can form nitrosamines. And in 2024, the International Agency for Research on Cancer identified nitrosamines as probable cancer-causing agents. Iceland's Ministry of Health didn't hesitate. Their stance? Zero tolerance. If nitrites are on the label, the product doesn't get through customs. Then there's BHA. It keeps the fats from going rancid, but it's also been under fire for years. In March 2025, the European Commission pushed for a continent-wide ban after new studies tied high exposure to hormone disruption and liver damage. Iceland, never shy about acting early, updated its red flag additive list to include Slim Jim's preservatives among those not fit for consumption. You don't need a degree in chemistry to see the writing on the wrapper. And that smoke flavor they list? It's not the smell of a woodsy campfire. It's a lab-made concentrate derived from burning wood chips, a process that often produces PAHs, or polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These compounds were flagged in 2024 by the Nordic Toxicology Panel as potential DNA-damaging agents. Iceland now restricts all smoke flavorings unless they're proven free of PAHs. Spoiler alert, Slim Jim didn't make the cut. The knockout blow, though, came with a 2025 expose by the Scandinavian Food Transparency Alliance. It revealed that brands like Slim Jim rely heavily on mechanically separated meat, a process that scrapes every last shred from bone fragments, often from factory-farmed animals. In Iceland, this method is banned outright due to risks of BSE, mad cow disease, and because, frankly, they don't consider it ethical or edible. But Slim Jim was never trying to win gourmet awards. It was built for the glove box, not the cheese board. It gave working folks something salty to chew on that wouldn't go bad before payday. But when keeping it cheap means rolling the dice with carcinogens, synthetic smoke, and scraps pushed through a metal sieve, maybe we ought to think twice. In Iceland, dried meat means something different. Whole cuts of local lamb, beef or fish, air-dried, lightly salted, and proudly labeled with the farm's name. In the US, you can aim higher too. Brands like Chomps or Epic skip the chemicals and use real cuts. Or you can make your own jerky at home. Just beef, sea salt, and a little patience. So next time you see that bright red wrapper calling your name, ask yourself, if it takes a lab full of additives to keep a stick of meat alive on a shelf, are you really buying food or just the illusion of it? Number 7, Hostess Twinkies. They sit there glowing under fluorescent lights, golden, squishy, and sealed tight like a time capsule from Eisenhower's America. Twinkies aren't just snacks, they're nostalgia with a barcode. That soft yellow sponge and mystery white filling have consoled broke college students, tired cashiers, and countless working parents trying to sweeten up a bad day. When life gets hard and bank accounts get low, a $1.50 Twinkie feels like a small win. But in Iceland, that golden wrapper doesn't signal comfort. It triggers a biohazard warning. As of 2025, Iceland has effectively banned the import and sale of Twinkies. Not because they're anti-fun, but because Iceland's food laws, especially the updated 2024 and 2025 additive codes, don't just frown on Twinkies, they reject them completely. The snack fails nearly every clean food standard the country upholds, and the list of violations reads more like a chemistry final than a dessert. Let's start with high fructose corn syrup. It's the main sweetener in Twinkies and also the first ingredient to be outlawed under Iceland's Sugar Integrity Act. That law, passed in early 2025, bans HFCS in all processed foods due to its links to liver fat accumulation and insulin resistance. A single Twinkie has over 18 grams of added sugar, more than double Iceland's legal snack limit of 8 grams. Almost all of it comes from HFCS. Then there's propylene glycol, the stuff used to keep the cake moist, long after common sense says it shouldn't be. While allowed in the US under generally recognized as safe GRAS standards, Iceland classifies it as a cosmetic-grade solvent. As of January 2025, the Chemical Safety Board named Hostess in a public bulletin, warning that its products contain multi-use industrial compounds not suitable for human ingestion. It gets worse. Twinkies contain mono and diglycerides, often derived from partially hydrogenated oils. While trace trans fats still sneak through in US labeling loopholes, Iceland's Fat Reform Act bans any processed food containing more than 0.1% trans fat. Hostess didn't make the cut. And those magical ingredients that give Twinkies their immortal shelf life, sorbic acid, sodium stearoyl lactylate, and artificial vanillin, are all tightly regulated or banned in Iceland. In March 2025, the Nordic Council called Twinkies the textbook example of ultra-processed pseudo-food unfit for modern dietary standards. But let's not pretend Hostess set out to deceive anyone. These cakes were engineered for America's reality. When gas is $5 a gallon and groceries keep climbing, a treat that costs under $2 and lasts until Christmas sounds like a miracle. Twinkies weren't built to nourish, they were built to endure. Still, there's another way. Iceland's bakeries turn out fresh sponge cakes daily, made with eggs, butter, flour, and cream. No additives, no gimmicks. And in America, you can bake your own with 6 ingredients you probably already have, or support a local bakery where the label doesn't read like a periodic table. So here's the bite-sized truth. If your cake can survive nuclear winter, maybe it shouldn't survive your grocery list. When dessert starts sounding like science fiction, it might be time to reach for something real. If a snack or soda is too toxic for Iceland's shelves, why is it still sitting in your pantry? Maybe it's time we stop settling for chemical shortcuts and start asking harder questions about what we feed our families. Hit subscribe for more eye-opening truths, because your health deserves more than what's convenient.
Thanks a lot for sticking with us to the very end. If you found this video useful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you won't miss any daily uploads. And now go ahead and explore some of our top recommended videos popping up on your screen. Goodbye, and see you in the next one.